Hey guys, I hope you're doing really good today. I am filming an FAQ video today, so go ahead and leave me your questions. You can go ahead and post them on my last Instagram post or send me a DM message. I'll do my best to get to as many as I can, and I look forward to seeing your questions.
I got this feeling rising to the ceiling, singing, ooh, darling, you.
Well, hello you guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here with me today because we're going to be doing an FAQ video, and I'm so excited about this. I have just posted a request for your questions on my Instagram stories, and so I'm gonna wait for a few of those to come in. I've had a beautiful morning. I woke up, I did some yoga, I went for a walk, and now I get to spend time with you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I love FAQ videos because I get to get a little bit more in depth with you guys about certain things, and I get to know exactly what questions you have, what you need answered, and they're just super fun. They're a little bit more lengthy than other videos, so if you have some snacks or if you need to take some breaks, all good. I'll put the questions in the description below so you can see exactly what I'll be answering today. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really hungry right now. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for the questions to come in, let's make some breakfast, shall we? I probably have smoothie all over my face. Not a big deal. Well, that was really good. And I'm sorry if I have smoothie all over my face. That's just how things work sometimes. And that's okay. Let's get started on these questions, shall we? This one is from Craft Spells. Hey Christina, I've been following you since 2011. Thank you. You are very inspiring. I have made numerous attempts to go raw since I started following you. What always brings me to stopping is extreme mouth pain and toothache from eating certain fruits. Do you have any advice on this? I've never come across any great answers on this issue. Well, Craft Spells, I wish I knew your name, but I'll just call you Craft Spells. I will just say that when people tend to eat a lot of citrus or acid fruits, what happens is it can begin to wear on your enamel quite a bit. And that can really affect, even when you bite down on something, the kind of, or the amount of pain that you have in your mouth. I know for a fact that drinking orange juice every day probably isn't the best for you because that citrus juice is really strong. Any type of acid or citrus fruit like lemon, oranges, sometimes tomatoes. You can even look it up online. You can Google a pH scale of the acidity of different fruits or vegetables. I bet that if you started off drinking a ton of green juices without any type of acid in it, maybe perhaps something super light like cucumber, celery, kale, romaine, ginger, and I know that that sounds like pure green terribleness, but if you started off just eating that, and maybe if you could add in one apple just to kind of lighten the taste a little bit, sweeten it, I think that would be really good. After that, if you're still having mouth pain, I would go and see a doctor, see a dentist, and ask what kind of opinion that this person has. Another question would be, do you have the same reaction with sweet fruit as you do with citrus fruit? And can you eat things like cucumbers and avocados, and can you not eat certain things? And I would look first into managing the pH of your food and figuring out if that's what's really sensitive. After that, maybe even look into hot versus cold, and if your mouth is sensitive to certain things like that as well. Hope that helps. Next question comes from Monisha Malik. I love your name, girl. That is a cool name. Hey KB, how do you beat winters with all cold food? I am struggling. Well, Monisha, I will just tell you this. My food isn't necessarily cold, it's just room temperature. And I know that when you hit winter time and it's freezing outside, especially if you're like in the cold and winter states. I made a YouTube video on this years ago. There's so many different things you can do to keep yourself warm that don't have to involve food. And my number one thing that I always tell people to do is to get in a good workout. Like really get in a good workout, get sweating, get your muscles moving and your breath moving and your blood pumping. Get so much activity in that you really like create heat in your body. Enough heat to carry with you until your next workout, so to speak. Take warm baths, warm showers, light candles, have a fire, blankets, cuddle up with somebody you love, body heat. It doesn't necessarily have to be cold food if you're already cold, but for instance, some days there are times where they're just room temperature, you know? I'm gonna be coming out with a warmer raw soup recipe pretty soon, and I think that's one that you'll really like. It'll be a warm tomato basil soup, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, start thinking about what brings you warmth other than food. And that your food always doesn't have to be cold. You don't have to add ice in it, you don't have to keep it in the fridge. Room temperature can sometimes be really great too. And I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You can do whatever feels good to you. I'm a raw vegan because I love how it makes me feel. I love all of the energy in the food. I love consuming high vibe food, high energy food. I love all my fruits and my vegetables. You have to do what feels right to you in the end of the day. And so I love raw food, I do raw food. If you want to know about raw food, I know how to make it happen. So no pressure, no pressure. Do at the end of the day what feels best to you. Next question comes from Freebird3. I hope I said that right. Freebird3, but like free is with the E, the 3E. Hi KB, can you please post about foods to help with acne, preferable hormonal acne? I would love some more tips. You know, I should probably do a whole separate video on the acne topic because I know it's a really big deal, and I have people who ask me about my skin, my hair, my beauty, my everything, my everything all the time. I am such a huge advocate of a raw and vegan diet because one of the biggest benefits is having super clear and glowing skin. You know, Dr. Group wrote a book called Health Begins in the Colon. This was years ago. I remember reading this and it changed my perception on our bodies and our systems because I remember reading if our digestion is our #1 portal of elimination, right? Like all of our toxins, our poop, all of our waste gets, you know, eliminated through our colons for the most part. And something just bit my butt. Ow. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the interruption. I don't know how that happened. Some kind of a weird bug got in my pants and started biting me, and that was really, really weird. So anyways, talking about elimination, when my life. If your colon is clogged, if you're not eating the right food and you have buildup in your colon, your next portal of elimination is your skin. So think about it. If a lot of people don't have the right type of digestion and elimination, they're not eating the right kinds of foods, they're not eating nourishing foods, they're not eating detoxifying foods, a lot of toxins are gonna then try and enter through the skin. And I have worked with so many people who once they've taken onto a raw or vegan lifestyle, that their acne has gone away, their skin has cleared completely. And there hasn't been just one specific food that they've eaten that's helped to brush everything out and to clear their skin, but it's been a wide rainbow assortment of different fruits and veggies. You know, eating a lot of fruit throughout the day, eating large salads at night, and trying to fit in as many colors as possible. Fruits and vegetables are high fiber foods. They're the most nutritious foods on the planet to eat. So I always tell people, if you want to work on yourself, just focus on eating what's seasonal, what's local, what's organic, what's colorful, and just have fun. You'll see improvements and benefits from there. Next question is from Marta Ira, or Marta Laura, one of the two. I can't quite tell from the way that her name is written, but it's in Spanish. Hola, feliz año, que me recomiendas para subir el sistema inmunológico, mi edad 58 años. So she's asking, what can you recommend for my immune system? I'm 58 years old. And I have a great recipe coming for you, and it is actually an immune booster juice. And I'll link that below for you as well. Next question comes from Beautifully Wild. Do you know what I can do for a UTI? I think I have one. It hurts really bad when I pee and after, please. I will say this, any type of cranberry juice is great for you. Or even better, if you can make fresh juice with any type of with beets in it. So I would recommend maybe carrot, beet, celery juice. Start off there, add a little bit of lemon if you can. Drink 32 ounces of that every single day, and I promise it will most likely get a lot better. Next question is from Tracy May Powell. What's up, Tracy? Hey, Kristina, I followed you for a while now and recently have gone vegan. Woohoo! However, my energy levels are still very low and I have 2 little ones and I need to keep up with them. Would going raw help me with my fatigue, or do you have any other suggestions? Happy New Year. Hey Tracy, this is a great question, and this is a topic that I love to talk about a lot because many people really struggle with their energy levels when they first shift into a new type of lifestyle or diet, especially a vegan or a raw vegan one. And the number one mistake that most people make when they come into this lifestyle is that they do not consume enough calories. And so they feel really great for like the first 2 weeks of this lifestyle, and then all of a sudden they hit this pitfall of energy and they can't seem to keep up with anything. And it sounds kind of like this is what you're going through. My suggestions would be not to be afraid of carbohydrates, not to be afraid of eating more food if you need more calories. For me, I love to eat a lot of fruit throughout the day because I love to be able to have enough calories in my system, enough carbohydrate, enough fuel to keep my body going so that I'm not tired, if I'm not lagging, and so that I feel better. As of recent, I don't mind eating more fats as well in the evening on my salads to keep my energy levels up too. So the number one thing I would recommend is maybe add in 1 extra fruit smoothie in your day to give you a little bit more energy. And this is going to be a consistent process for you. You're not going to notice like a change in like 1 hour, but doing something every single day consistently is what's going to reap results for your body. So maybe perhaps work in an extra 32-ounce smoothie every single day for a week or 2 and see how much better that you feel. After that, I would recommend getting in some good sleep, getting in some REM sleep, getting in sleep, by 10 p.m. if you can. Maybe working on your sleeping patterns. Are you dreaming? Are you anxious about things? Are you emotionally exhausted? It's never just one thing. It's never just the food. It's everything together. So it's a holistic process, and maybe just take apart one thing at a time and start from there and move forward. I love this question. This one is from Sophia, and her avatar name is Sophia is totally not my name. That's pretty funny and cute. She said, Kristina, what if you want to go raw but you hate vegetables? I'm already vegan and I'm trying to go gluten-free for the month just to see how I feel, but I also want to incorporate more fruits and veggies into my diet, but I don't know how to do it besides smoothies. Okay, Sophia, you don't have to like all the vegetables in the world. You don't have to like all the fruits in the world. I still don't like eggplant. My mother, made me eat so much baba ganoush as a child that now I just can't even look at it. And that's okay. And sometimes when I eat carrots, I have nightmares, so it's okay. I will say this though, there has to be some fruits that you love and there have to be some vegetables that you love. There are hundreds and thousands of varieties of vegetables out there, and I can guarantee you that you don't hate all of them. If you can, start with 3. Pick 3 vegetables. It can be, and for me, I include leafy greens in this category. So think of like kale, romaine, spinach, celery, anything. It can be anything, but just pick 3 and just make sure that you have those 3 every single day, even if just a few bites. That will significantly help you. And if that's still painful for you now, why not just do smoothies 3 times a day until your body begins to evolve and to change? My taste buds have changed completely over the past 12 years. Things that used to taste meh to me now taste like wow to me. And keep in mind that, your body, your cells basically regenerate and restore and are completely new every 6 to 7 months. So if you don't like something now, it doesn't mean that you won't like it in the future. You kind of just have to wean your way in a little bit. So my recommendation, pick 3 things that you like, start there and work your way up. Next question is from Ruby Ani. Hey Ruby, how do you cope with emotional eating? I am definitely going to be doing a separate video on emotional eating and eating disorders, and I do have some videos out about emotional eating as well. And one of the reasons why I love eating raw food is because the water is high in water content and lower in calorie. It's very difficult to overeat on fruits and vegetables sometimes. Is it possible? Absolutely. You can overeat on anything. But overeating on raw fruits and vegetables is not the same as overeating on, a fast food pizza or a hamburger or fries. This food is actually nourishing for your body and it loves you back. I truly believe that this lifestyle is all about self-love and taking care of yourself and being good to yourself. And even if you did overeat on raw food for a longer period of time, I have a feeling that something inside of you would shift. And I know that because it happened to me too. I used to overeat when I was anxious or sad or cried or whatever it was. And then after a while, it became more of like an act of self-love. Like, hey, I want to take care of myself, so I'm going to eat the foods that are good for me and that treat me really, really well. And once I got into the shift of like self-love and like respecting myself more, overeating became kind of a thing of the past, and it became eating more for like eating to my heart's content, and then whatever came from there. And so for emotional eating, I would say this, eating raw foods, because they're so detoxifying, because they're so cleansing, your body doesn't just cleanse the physical, it also cleanses the emotional as well. Most people don't realize that, but I remember when I was in Lebanon, I met a man. He owned a raw food and vegan restaurant up in Shuf. And I met him immediately and I just started crying because I just felt this beautiful spirit coming from him. And he immediately looks at me and he goes, "Oh, you're definitely raw vegan. I see all the emotion pouring out of you right now." And I said, "How did you know that?" And he said, because raw food, vegans, people can sometimes be more emotionally sensitive to things, right? Like it brings up so many emotions in you. Sometimes it's not even about emotional eating, but it's learning how to process your emotions as soon as they come up. How do you deal with them? How do you move through difficult situations? Sitting down and asking yourself, how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? How can I move through it? What tools do I have to pull a positive aspect out of this? Is grace present for me? The answer is always. And moving through that. Emotional eating usually comes because we don't have a sense of control, or we have anxiety, or we don't know what we're feeling, and we don't know how to handle the situation. But if you get to the root of the emotion, the root of the problem, it shifts everything, and you no longer take it out on the food, but you learn how to grow with love in a different way. So I think I just covered a lot in that one topic. I hope all of that makes sense. I think it kind of does. Raw foods definitely does bring up a lot more emotion, and it's okay. The food still loves you back, and it's not there to hurt you in any way. So I hope that makes sense. All right, last question, and then I'll save the other questions for the next FAQ video. Hey Kristina, I'm excited to watch your upcoming FAQ video. Well, hey, you're in it. Oh, by the way, this is from Haley E722. Hello. I have 2 questions for you. Is Cash your boyfriend? And number 2, if you're willing, please discuss your religious views. You seem to talk about spirituality a lot, but I'm pretty sure I've seen an Insta story of you at a church service. So please discuss how you incorporate the 2 in your life. Hey Haley! Number 1, we can talk about in a future video, especially the whole dating, raw food, vegans, dating thing. I've had a lot of people ask me that question lately. And number 2, if you're willing, please talk about your religious views. This is such a heavy loaded question. So number 1, I will answer in a different video for you guys. And I think a lot of people have been asking me about my singleness a lot lately, why I'm still single, and also a lot of other people have been asking me about dating, raw vegans, vegan dating, all the above. And for number 2, gosh, that is also another very intense and powerful question, and that may require a lot more time, but to put it in a nutshell, I do consider myself a Christian. I was raised in a very Lebanese, Arabic, Antiochian Orthodox Christian church. Both my parents are Antiochian Orthodox Christian, and so that is what I carry. However, having come across this lifestyle, I've definitely developed an enormous amount of spirituality from this. I love being in nature. Do I believe in much more? Absolutely. I believe in the power of good and love and light, and there's so much to be said about that. But am I a spiritual person? Absolutely. I do believe in energies, and I also do believe in the Bible and still do consider myself a Christian and more. So I hope that helps to answer your question. It's hard to get too much into detail about that, but I promise I will in the future. And I'll go more in depth with you. Alright you guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful for you. I'll be sure to write the questions below in the description, that way you guys can skip and jump to whichever ones are great for you. If you've liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and in the comments write me other questions that you'd want me to ask in another Ask Me Anything Friday video or something like that. I'd be happy to. And hit the subscribe button because there's more excitement to come on my channel. Can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I'm sending you all my hugs and my love.